With the advent of the internet, we have information moving at jet speed every day, every single day. I mean, there's so much information online. I believe Google knows everything about everybody. Don't you think so? Everybody uses Google search, everybody has Gmail, everybody has. Everybody uses Google. Today I'm going to be talking about what the internet is going to look like in the near future. I'm not sure if you've heard about this, but there is a concept, that I've been hearing more often than usual these days, and it's the phrase called Web3. Yeah, Web3. What exactly is the Web3? I'm not sure if you've heard about the Web3 before, but if you have not heard about the Web3, I think you really should know about the Web3. And in this video, we'll be talking about what the Web3 is, just what you need to know. I'm going to be talking about the different iterations of the internet we've had before we talk about Web3. I'm not sure how many of you watching this video, were already born in the 90s, around that time, around that time we had what we call the read-only internet. What I would call the read-only internet, it was actually the read-only internet. The internet where all you had was just information for you to just scroll through. You could not do anything. So you just go online and then check what's online. So it was just basically somewhere where things were dumped, information was dumped for you to just read through it. So it was like buying a newspaper and just reading it. You can only buy a newspaper and read it. There's nothing you can do to it. You cannot add information to it or do anything, okay, except for the crossword puzzles. Yeah, crossword puzzles. That was how the Web 1 was. It was called the Web 1. That was the read-only internet. That was the first kind of internet that we ever had. Internet which you could not edit, could not do anything, you could only read it. And then from there, around 2000 and I'm not sure now, we had internet corporations like Google, Yahoo, and much later Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms. They came around and made the internet a lot more interactive. I mean, you could now interact with the internet. Aside from consuming information, you could also add information to the internet. And this was a real breaking point for the internet, because this revolutionized the way we saw the internet, the way the internet runs, and the way we do things online. In fact, most of everything we do today, if not all, is hinged on the internet. And that's because of what the Web 2 has brought. The fact that you can give and you can take from the internet. But then, there are caveats to what the Web 2 is. As good as the Web 2 seems to be, there are issues that, have been identified with the Web 2. As always, we would want to improve on whatever we have on ground, especially as humans. And so when the Web 2 came, we worked on it, modified it, made better versions of it, and then came up with a fully interactive internet, an internet where you could do almost anything. You could basically live on the internet in that sense. And most of our everyday life activities actually depend on the things we have on the internet, on the services, on the platforms that we have on the internet. But then there are still shortcomings of the Web 2, and I'm not sure if you may have taken cognizance of them. Probably you don't even care, you're just okay. As long as the Web 2 works well enough for you, you're just fine. But then there were shortcomings of the Web 2, which then brought about the advent and the proposition for what we're discussing in the Web 3 now. And those shortcomings were kind of obvious, really. And top on the list was issues with privacy. Yeah, privacy. So the big corporations that were in charge of most of what goes on online, the Google, Twitter, Facebook, all of them, they had so much information in their hands. So much information about our lives, so much information about everything about us. They had all of this information at their disposal. And of course, yes, we gave that information to them. They didn't forcefully collect it from us, but it was in promise of a service which we're going to render to us. Google makes life so easy for you. They had so much power to themselves because they had so much information about us, and they were able to control everything about what we were doing online. So there was a centralized form of internet in which everything we did was controlled by some internet corporations in that sense. And that's a problem because everyone, there's no democracy of the internet. There's no freedom if you look at it in a way on the internet. The big people decide what happens on the internet. That's where Web3 comes in when it comes to things like this. Aside that, another problem with the Web2 is you cannot decide the way information is distributed, the way information is created. You cannot, own any part of the internet. You really do not own anything online. You actually give your information to platforms online. Basically, that is what Web2 is. Web2 means you give your information online and you consume information from what they online, those big guys online that have your information. You consume information from what they give to you. You have no choice. You cannot regulate anything. They regulate everything. Basically, that's what happens. But then Web3 changes everything. And that's where we're going to. In Web3, there is democracy for all. Everyone can do whatever they like, in quote, online. So in Web3, you can actually own a part of the internet. You can decide what information you want to put online, and that information stays private, and that information stays secure, and that information, whatever you want to do with that information, is up to you. It's not decided by anybody. That's how Web3 works. Web3 gives you power to do things online. So instead of having to do things the way Facebook wants you to do them, you could actually together with some people develop the way you want to interact. You may want to create a community of your own. You may want to create a community where you guys in that community decide the way you want to do things. You decide what you want to talk about. You decide the way you want to earn, basically. And it's the more reason why Web3 can only work on a platform called the blockchain platform or the blockchain technology. So what's the blockchain technology? Yeah, that's another thing to talk about. Yeah, I'm sorry, but then you also need to know about the blockchain technology if you want to know about Web3, because Web3 is going to be heavily built on the blockchain technology. So the way blockchain works is that it's a technology which is built on the internet and works on a set of instructions. Now, this set of instructions are built on a type of code that is open source, which means that it's something everyone can look at, everyone can read, everyone can verify. And it's a code that is built in such a way, it's a set of instructions basically that is built in such a way that, it secures information. Just let's put it that way. Don't let's go too deep into it. It's because of features like this that we have the cryptocurrency based on the blockchain. On blockchain technology, there is no ownership of anything, basically. Everything happens and everyone can see the transparency of whatever goes on the blockchain. And that's what Web3 is going to be built on, the blockchain technology. And that way you can control however you want information that you give and information that you consume. You can control how you want it to be. There is no third party. It's just you and the internet. There's no Google, who is the intermediary between you and the internet. It's just you and the internet. You can do whatever you want. You can decide how you want to earn. You can come up with projects. You can come up with applications by yourself. You can develop ways to do things, ways to earn the way you want to earn. your your money online, the way you want to do everything online, the way you want to put your information, the way you want your information to be stored online. That's basically what Web3 is. It gives you ownership. So just the way we have something like democracy, in which everyone has a say, on the Web3 everyone has a say. Not like Web2 where from time to time Google and all those, they do surveys and all that. Do they really use those surveys? You don't have a say over what Google uses your information to do. You really do not have a say. Yeah, that's the truth. But then on Web3, you own a part of the internet actually. And so that's where we're going to as regards the internet. It's a concept you have to embrace, because it's going to make a lot of things efficient. Things are not going to move at the pace of the centralized control of some people somewhere. Things are going to move at the pace of what people dictate. So whatever people say, or whatever some people say as regards their information, however they want it to be, is how it's going to happen. If you really understand what that means, really, you would understand why and how the cryptocurrency is based off of the blockchain. Yeah, there is no centralized government on the blockchain. That's why cryptocurrency can run the way it's running on the blockchain. Now you want to ask, why am I talking about Web3? Why should I know about the Web3? When the Web3 comes, I'll just embrace it, wouldn't I? The reason why you need to know about the Web3 is that Web3 is going to change the way we see a lot of things, especially when it comes to things like finance, which I'm sure many of you are probably definitely concerned about. It's going to change a lot of things about it, because the way we're going to be earning is going to be different. A lot different. And that's why crypto and the blockchain is very important. If you do not know so much about crypto and the blockchain, I think it's about time you at least know something about it. It's going to affect the financial world. It's going to affect the way we look at things. It's going to affect the way we look at money, the way we interact with tech and the internet, so much that if you do not have some basic ideas of these things, you might not be able to really flow with the society. It's the truth. I'm telling you, you need to know something, one thing or the other, about crypto and blockchain. I'll put links in the description below about to channels or videos where you can learn more about what crypto is and what the blockchain is, and how we can be involved in crypto and the blockchain. It's very essential. In the world of today, you need to know one or two things about the blockchain. It's going to change. See, things like the metaverse, different tokens coming up in the crypto space, things like NFTs, those things, they may sound like, those things are highfalutin, but hey, I kid you not, in a few years from now, if you don't know what those things are, so many things are going to look like gibberish to you. Then, I'm telling you, you just need to know one or two things, and then perhaps you could even engage in some of these things. There are some subtle ways you can earn from crypto which you might not know, and then just getting information about crypto, you might know about them. There are social platforms now that are coming up already that actually run on a prototype of Web3. So we've come to the end of this video. If you have any thoughts, any comments about all we shared in this video, you can put them in the comment section below. If you have any questions, you can also ask. You can also check around the channel for videos that might interest you. We talk about things related to tech and everyday technology, medicine, and sometimes music. And so you can check around, give us a like. Of course you won't give us a dislike, but then of course just give us a like, and subscribe to our channel. Subscribe. You cannot have watched this video and then you won't subscribe. Come on, subscribe, help the channel grow. We're still growing, help us grow. Subscribe to the channel, and you can also check up on our website. I'll put the link in the description below where you can find information. You can check up our blog and read up on more stuff related to topics like this. And so without further ado, we'll meet you in the next video. Stay tuned.